everyone, and welcome back for episode 3 of Miss O'Moore on Air. So, today we are going to be looking at early Christian Ireland, which is the third or fourth chapter, depending on how you count it, in the junior cycle history course. We are going to be looking at the different work that monks did. We are going to have a look at when Christianity came to Ireland, and then we're going to have a look at Vikings. So, it's quite a nice chapter. It's a short chapter too, so get ready and let's get started. So one of the reasons that this chapter is so nice is because we have so much evidence from this time period. We have so many different metalworks, books, stone crosses, monasteries. So it's really great to look at the primary evidence from this chapter. So to begin, Christianity came to Ireland in around 431 AD. This is the earliest that we have it recorded down, but it could have been a few years before that. Before Christianity, Ireland was ruled by the Celts. Now, the Celts were pagans, and pagans ruled different types of gods. They had a sun god, a rain god, they believed in magic and healing through herbs and stuff like that, rather than what we know as science today. The first monastery in Ireland was created on the Aran Islands, and it was called Inishmore. You can still go visit this today. Monks who lived in monasteries led quite simple lives. They were self-sufficient, they grew their own food, they had animals to get milk and wool, so they were quite shut off from the world. Now, when studying this chapter, it's really important that you can name at least 3 places that are within a monastery. So whether it's the scriptorium where they write, whether it's where they pray, the round tower, or even just to be able to describe the beehive huts where they lived. Now, the beehive huts look like a beehive, that's why it's called that, and it's stones stacked on top of one another until at the top you get them closer and closer together to make a little hut. An example of this can be seen in the new Star Wars movies where they filmed down in Skellig Mill, and you can see this is where Luke Skywalker lived, and he lived in one of these beehive huts. So if you're looking for an example, Star Wars is a great place to go other than just looking up on Google. So, monasteries in Ireland were known for 3 main things. The first one were their works with manuscripts. Now, manuscripts were books that were handwritten, they were written with quells, which are feathers of a bird, and they told stories from the Bible in Latin. They also included some pagan legends, but the main emphasis was on Bible stories. A great example of this is the Book of Kells, which you can go visit in Dublin in Trinity College. Another work that monks did was metalwork. So we have a lot of different examples with this, with chalices, brooches, bells, bowls, cups, all different types of things. The best one is the Ardell chalice. All different types of metals were used during this time, such as gold, silver, bronze, to make the chalices, brooches, whatever they were making, look as fancy as possible. And if you think when you go into a Catholic church, that is the type of vibe that you're looking at. All the sparkle, the glitz, the glam. The last one is stone crosses. So stone crosses were considered a very high upskilled job from stonemasons. And you had to study for quite a long time to be able to make a stone cross. So they were a freestanding cross. You can see many of them around Ireland today. And they mainly contain scenes from the Bible as well, just like the manuscripts, as well as some Celtic pagan scenes and some symbols, swirls, the like. You can still go see them today. I'm sure if you looked it up on Google, there'd be one quite near you that you can actually go visit. Now, the period of time that we are talking about is just after the Roman Empire fell. And this was known as the Dark Ages because people didn't really have a leader as such to follow. So Christianity was just emerging as a major world religion during this time. And as such, monks started to go abroad to work and spread Christianity, to spread education. They set up different monasteries. This is why there would be so many links all over the world to different monasteries because of the work that these monks did. And this became known as the Golden Age, which was followed after the fall of the Roman Empire. Last part of the chapter now, and we are looking at the Vikings. So Vikings came to Ireland as early as 795 AD. Now that is when we have them recorded, but again, it could have been earlier. They started coming to Ireland to raid the monasteries and to raid towns. And one of the key evidence that we have of this is in the monastery, The towers were built up nice and high, and the door was built up high as well. So the monks would put a ladder to the door, climb up, and then pull the ladder up so they were nice and safe within the monastery. Now, obviously, the Vikings did catch on to this and they started bringing ladders themselves, but in the beginning, it was a very clever scheme. The best evidence of the Vikings that we have was digged up in Wood Quay in Dublin, where we had a whole Viking settlement where we could see their houses, their clothes, weapons, tools, all of how they lived. And a lot of this evidence is still preserved today, which again, you can go visit. The last key piece of information about the Vikings is to know that there were 4 main ports that they set up in Ireland. The first was Dublin, then Wexford, Limerick, and Waterford. After this, they did set up Cork, but Cork is not considered one of the main 4 that they set up in the beginning, because sometimes you can be asked to look at a map and to talk about one of these main ports. Nice and easy chapter, guys. Hopefully it does come up in the junior because it's such a lovely chapter to talk about. But thanks for listening, and hopefully I'll see you again in another podcast. Bye!